Students, this is Rebecca Deal from RA Knowledge Spot. Dear students, today we have to discuss chapter number 2 of class 10th, and the name of the chapter is Theory of Quadratics. As you know, or as you're looking, the name of the chapter is just having the resemblance with the chapter number 1. So what is the difference here in this chapter and what we are going to study in this chapter, or the outlines of the chapter is students, the relate actually it is related with the quadratic equation and the quadratic formulas, but in this chapter we are going to discuss in detail, because the theory means we are going to discuss something in depth. Actually, what is the more that you have to explore in this chapter. So there are many things, of course, new here. All the concepts are new. You haven't done this before. You're going to start the chapter. Before we're going to study actually, or before we're going to start the exercise, there is something very important that you have to keep in your mind. This will be, maybe you feel it boring, but you have to do, because without this we can't move towards the exercise. Dear students, as we know that this thing that you are looking for, this is the quadratic formula, minus b plus minus b square minus 4ac divided by 2a. This is the quadratic formula, or we can say this is the roots. These are the two roots, because one is the positive and the other is the negative. Dear students, you have to be very careful and you have to listen me very careful whatever I'm saying, because if you're not getting me and if you don't get this page, actually if you don't understand the theory or this first page, believe me, you can't get the question number 2 of the exercise. So if you really want to be in to understand the question, you have to understand and you have to memorize this page. You have to cramming this page. Actually, you can't leave this page. First you have to memorize, and these are the points on your book. I'm just going to tell you where the chapter number 1 is finished. On the very next page, as we 2.1, before 2.1, there's a page before 2.1. there are the 4 lines written on your paper. I'm just going to mention these 4 lines, these 4 points, and you have to memorize these 4 points. How? Let me start it now. The roots of the quadratic equation, you know that this is the quadratic equation or the standard form, and this is the roots of this equation. Now we have solved in chapter number 1. This is the quadratic equation. With the help of completing square, you have solved and you have find the roots, you have find the solution of this equation. Now the number or the expression that is written under the square root is called the discriminant. Okay, listen again. The number or the expression that is written under the square root is your disk. We call it a disk, and we have to discuss the disk of this formula or of this root, what kind of disk is and what will happen, what kind of nature of the root is. Now the nature of the root is called dear students, I just want to tell you, like there are many kind of numbers, like natural number, prime number, whole number, rational number, irrational number, real number, or complex number. We are just going to discuss here what kind of the answer will be. Is it a rational number? Is it the irrational number? Is it the complex number? Okay, no, these are the things that we have to discuss. Now discriminant is b square minus 4ac, where a, b and c are the rational numbers. Okay, we have to see that they are the rational numbers. Now if students, if the disk like b square minus 4ac is positive, what this sign is called the greater number. Like we are showing that if disk, when you calculate the disk, when you're going to put the value in the disk and your answer is positive and also perfect square, you should know what is the perfect square, like 1, 4, 9, 16, 25. These are the perfect square, and so on. Then the roots are rational and unequal, means the roots or the answer will be rational and unequal. Now moving towards the next point. Again, if b square minus 4ac, or you can say disk, is positive, also once again it's a positive number. Positive means not a negative value. It will be plus 5, 6, 7, 8, 49, 38, 68, this way. It should not be negative like minus 10, minus 11. Okay, if the root is positive and is not a perfect square, means like it should be 68, 38, 35, and 35 and 68 are the positive number, and also they are not a perfect square. then what kind of roots are? They will be irrational and unequal. Now what you have to keep in your mind, what you have to memorize actually, these points you have to memorize. First you should know if your answer will be of this kind, then you can say this is your the roots, or this is your answer. Like you have to keep in your mind the roots are rational and unequal. Now the third point, if the disk is equal to 0, or a disk you can say b square minus 4ac is equal to 0, then the roots are rational and unequal. Then now the third condition is that if this is completely, the disk is 0, sometime what happens, this is disk actually. If like 5 minus 5, you will have the 5 minus 5 and you of course you will get 0. Now what will happen, if the disk is 0, then roots, or actually what is the word root? Root is the solution, root is the answer of the question, final answer. You can call it also roots. Then roots will be rational and unequal. Okay, now the last point, if disk is less than 0. Less than 0 means all the number that are less than 0, of course they are negative number, like minus 1, minus 2, minus 3, they all are less than 0. They on the number line, if you just observe the number line, on your right hand we are having the positive number, and on our left hand we are having the negative number. Of course all the negative number are smaller than 0. Then if disk is less than 0, then the roots will be imaginary or complex numbers. You have to keep all these 4 lines and 4 points in your mind, because they will help you to solve the question number 2. Now after this is your question number 1. Find the disk of the following quadratic equation. Now this is a simple quadratic equation in front of you. Now what you have to do, you know that, like you have to compare this with the quadratic equation, that is ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0. This is the general or the standard form of the quadratic equation. Now tell me, what is a? A is 2. Now guess what is b? B is 3 and c is minus 1. Now as you can see, these are the values of a, b, c. Now we have to put in the disk. Now what is disk? As previously we have discussed, disk is b square minus 4ac. This is the part that is written under the square root of the quadratic formula. Yes, we just have to put the value. Now value of b is this, minus 4. The value of a is 2. The value of c is minus 1. After simplification, you have to solve and you will get, yes, this value. Okay, in this question, this is the simplest answer. Nothing we have to do with this question, and that is your answer. There are 4 parts of this question, and students, this is so simple that you can do it by yourself, because you just have to put inside the disk. Now this is another part that I have done for you, number 2. Again we have to compare with the quadratic equation. This is your quadratic equation. Now just after comparison, we have to put in the disk, and just putting the value, taking the square, 8 8 is 64, and when you multiply these 3 numbers, you will get 72, and after subtraction you are getting minus 8. Now this is your answer, and this is the value of disk. That's it. Now this question could be possible for the 2 marks in your paper for the short question. Now again, moving towards the next part. Now in this question, find the nature of the roots of the given quadratic equation and verify the result by showing the equations. Now this is the question that is relevant or related to the very first page that I have told you. I have told you that you have to memorize that proper page. You have to cramming this page actually. Okay, now this question relate to that concept. Now first you have to find the disk, and for the matter of disk you have to find ABC, as you know that. Now just putting in the disk, these are the values. 23, when you take the square you will get 529 minus 480. When you subtract, okay, you will get 49. Now tell me, because in this question he don't ask you only the disk but also asking you the nature of the roots. This is called the main basic purpose of the question is to find the nature of the roots. Now what is the nature of the roots? Now tell me 49. Now just go to that page or just find out there the very first you can say the very first line, that if the roots are positive, as you can see 49 is a positive number because it has a plus sign with it. then it is also a perfect square. Did you remember that? It's a perfect square. Now maybe you get my point. So why we have to do that page actually? Now as the roots are positive and perfect square, therefore roots of the equation, like this is the equation, the roots are rational and unequal. Why it is real inside the bracket? Dear students, if you know the history and the story of the real numbers, then basically rational and irrational, when we combine rational and irrational, we will have a real number. Real is a biggest set and rational is the baby set, or you can say rational is actually the part of the real number. That's why in bracket it is also written like a real number. Now the main focus should be rational and unequal. Now there is a word that is verification. Now we have to verify. Now what we have to verify and how we have to verify? We have to put this value and we are going to solve with the help of quadratic formula. Now this is the quadratic formula and we are going to just putting the value, like the value of b is minus 23, and after that, after putting this is also the minus plus, and already you just have solved this is called actually disk, and where you have solved upside here the value of disk was 49. No need to solve it further because already you have find it here the disk. You simply have to put the value, that is 49. Now further solve it, one for positive and one for negative. Now this is the positive value, then again now this one, okay, and further this is now. Okay, dear student, these are the two numbers as the now how you have to verify. Now it was given that the roots are rational and unequal. Now you can see these two numbers are rational number. 15 and 8 is a rational number, and of course they are not equal but they are different. So it is verified. Now it is verified. This is called the verification and this is your disk. There are 4 parts of the question and I have done the one, and you have to now by end of the question you have to write the roots are rational and unequal, as this is the and you know, if you know that and if you have already learned that line, then you are able to write this one because you will get this you will get the marks of this thing in your exam. Moving towards the next part, that is question number 3. For what values of k the equation is a perfect square? In this question we have to find the value of k, and this is the given equation with you, and you have to find like you just have to find the value of k, and the condition is the equation is a perfect square. Now the solution, this is the main equation, that is kx square. We are going to compare with the quadratic equation. Now you know that the things that is written with x square is called a, the number that is written with x is called b, and the rest of the numbers, the left number, are c. Now these are a, b, c. Just putting in your disk, always you have to put in the disk after substituting the value in the disk. Some more simplification, 2 2s are 4, k plus 1 whole square minus 4 4s are 16, k square. Further simplification, a plus b whole square formula we have to open, k square plus 2k plus 1 minus 16k square, and you have to multiply the whole bracket with this 4. Then they are same, like we can solve them. Okay, after as the disk of the given expression, as the disk of the given expression is a perfect square, it is given to us like this, the disk is perfect square, then the roots will be rational and unequal. You just go towards the that paper once again, that page actually, because when the roots are perfect square, this is perfect square, the roots will be irrational and unequal. Then and we have to put the disk is equal to 0. Dear students, just keep one thing in your mind, and you have done in class 9 in chapter number 6 and somewhere else also, that whenever you have to do like you have to find the values of some k, or you have to find the values of a, b, c, then without putting disk is equal to 0 you cannot find the value of k actually, or whatever the letter is. Then you just keep in your mind one thing, or that is a technique that you can keep in your mind, that whenever we have to find the value of something, a k, whatever the letter is given in the question, you have to put the disk is equal to 0 always. Now this is your disk actually, and after solving 16 minus 4k you will get minus 12k square, 8k plus 4 will be as it is. The disk is complete equal to 0. Now the minus is common, minus minus plus, minus plus minus, and minus plus minus. Then we are going to shift the minus to the other side, it will be 0. And how in my one video I have give you the detail how this minus is going to be 0 on the other side when you take it to the other side. Now we have to factorize. 12 fours are 48 and 12 minus 4, that is 8. Some further simplification, 12k is common, then k minus 1 and 12k plus 4, then k minus 1 0, or the value of k is 1, 12k plus 4 0, then minus 4, and this is minus 4 by 12 and 1 by 3. Okay, now these are the values of k, and we have to find the values. See in the question, this is the values, it means we have to find the two values, and it is we're having the two values of this k. Moving towards the question number 4. There are 3 parts of the question, they all are same. I just select the one. I thought that this is quite lengthy and maybe difficult for you, that's why I select the third part, and you have to do the rest of the 2 parts. Now find the value of k if the roots of the equations are equal. Now this is the condition of the question, that root should be equal. Now once again doing the same process as in the previous question. This is your a, this whole thing is your b. You don't forget to take the minus, you have to write with the minus sign also. And this is your c. Now disk is equal to b square minus 4ac. Just putting the values, now solving. This is negative sign, of course this is a positive number, or you can say the even number, the minus will be vanishes, and 5 square, that is 25. This is the formula, a plus b whole square. Here is the multiplication, 4 will be as it is. Now some more simplification, we have to multiply this 25 to the whole number, to the whole bracket actually. Then some more simplification, so 4 6 are 24, minus plus minus, 4 9s are 36, minus plus minus, 4 4s are 16, minus plus minus, 4 6 are 24. Now these are the same number, we can solve it. We'll get k square, because 25 minus 24 will give k. Then you can have your calculator in front of them, keep your calculator with you while you are solving the question. You just write 50 minus 36 and minus 16, you will get minus 2k. Then 25 and 24 will give you 1. Now we can write this like we can close it, we will have we can write in a form like k minus 1 whole square, because when you open this will give you k square minus 2k plus 1. This is the a minus b whole square formula, closing form. Now as the roots are equal, we can say disk is equal to 0. And one thing more you can keep in your mind, that you have to find the value of k. Now as the roots are equal, then disk is equal to 0. If disk 0, it means this value is actually 0, because disk 0, you can write the disk the value of disk is 0, just putting the 0 here. Now this one, taking how can you finish this square? You have to take the square root, taking square root both sides. Now square it will be cancelled. The value of k is 1. Okay, once again you just notice it, when you have to find the value of k, again k, disk will be 0. You just have to write this line as the roots are equal, this way. If this is equal, you can write the roots are equal. Now move, that is question number 5. This is a very important question. Now we have to show that the equation, this is the question actually, show that the equation has equal roots. We have to show that the roots will be equal, and if this is the condition, this is the answer of the question. Okay dear student, this is the answer. If the condition, like we have to prove this condition, the roots are equal, and if the roots are equal, of course we will say disk is equal to 0, as in the previous question, when the roots are equal, disk is 0. Now this is like we have to prove this condition. We have the answer will be this. Now see, now this is the given question. Now first we have to open it, first we have to expand it. X square will be as it is, a square plus 2ab plus b square is equal to a square. Then x square will be as it is, m square x square 2mx c plus c square plus a square. We have to write in a proper way, because we have to find A, B and C, and then we have to put in the disk just like in the previous questions we are doing so. Like we have to find first x square, because we know the number that is written with x square is your A. But I have done here, just take the common here, that x square is common. Here the number will be 1 plus m square. All the number that is written with x, that will be your B, and the rest of the number will call C. A square is positive and here it will be negative. Now comparing with the quadratic equation, this is your A, this is your B, and this is your C. Now once again, where we have to put? We have to put in the disk. Now this is your disk, just putting in the formula. This is your B, 4 as it is, the value of A and the value of C. Now when we take the square, it will be 4 m square c square, minus 4 will be as it is. This is the multiplication. 1 is going to multiply with c square, will give you c square. 1 is going to multiply with a square, will give you a square. The negative sign will be with it. Now 1 is finished. M square is multiplying with c square, will this one, and m square is multiplied with a square, will give you minus m square and a square. Now some further simplification, we have to multiply this 4 inside whole bracket, and we also have to change the sign because there's a negative number. Minus plus minus, minus minus plus, minus plus minus, and minus minus plus. Now some more simplification, there is a cancellation in the question, like this term is going to cancel with this term. Now the left number are, as the roots are equal, now we know that the roots are equal, it means disk will be 0. Don't forget this point. Whenever in the questions disk will be 0 or disk will be equal, the roots are equal, then disk will be 0. Now this is the equation and it is equal to 0. You have to take common. No need to take minus common. You just take 4 common. Then there's minus c square will be as it is, a square will be as it is, and m square a square will be as it is. Now when you move 4 to the other side, 0 by 4 will give you 0. Now as the answer is in front of you, you just have to follow the answer. You can see c square is a lone number, or you can see this is on another side. Then we simply have to shift c to the other side, and here it is negative. When we shift, the sign will be changed. Now as the answer is in front of you, a square is common, then here 1 plus m square, and this is the condition. You have to find this condition that is given in the question. So this is your answer. Once again, this is an important question. Now moving towards the next. This is not the part, but this is the question number 6. Find the condition of the roots of the equation this when the roots are equal. Dear students, just read carefully the question. Question number 5 and question number 6 are same. What happened in that question or in the previous question is that the condition was given, means the answer was given actually, but in this question only we are having the equation. We don't know that condition. See the condition, the word condition. In the previous question the word was condition, that is already given in that question, but here we have to find that condition. Solving on the base of that question means you have to solve ditto as you have solved the previous question. Now what is your main question? This is your main question. First you have to open the formula or expanding the formula. A square, like this is your A, m square x square plus 2mxc plus c square and minus 4ax. Now this is the one value, then you have to keep together, like minus 4ax and c square is alone. Now taking common, x is common, it means this is your A, this is your B, and this is your C. Now comparing with quadratic equation, now you just have to write A, B, C. Now putting where? In the disk. Okay, now this is your disk. Now B is this one, minus 4, A and C. Solving, again we have to open the formula A minus B whole square, 2mc square minus 2 first number, second number square, then 4mc square as it is, then 2 2s are 4mc square, and some more simplification, 2 2s are 4, 4 4s are 16, 4 4s are 16, again cancellation. You can see the same question as in the previous question, following the same rule. Now we have to do, as we know that now as the roots are equal, so disk is equal to 0. Again, okay, now 16 is a common number. 16 is common. 16a is actually common. Then MC is here plus, because we have take common a, and a will be 1a will be left here. Now 0 by 16a is the multiplying, and there it will be divided. 0 by something is 0, and the value of a is MC. Okay students, this is the question, the final question, and you can see that they are same question. There are many resemblance in this question, and the most important part of the question was you have to memorize the very first page from your book, and after that you have to keep in your mind, whenever the roots are equal, it means the disk will always be 0. Again, I'm just going to say, just please keep in your mind, whenever the roots are equal, or the roots are, you can say, equal, the disk will be 0. Okay dear students, now I'll see in the next video. Till then, take care and bye bye. Now this is the